Hello, we've got a video from the OVKA 2021 first race rain makeup day. We're out at the G&J Cartway in Camden, Ohio, and we're about to get underway with the final heat. The format for the day was abbreviated. It was a one practice session, then a 5-minute qualifying session, and based off your qualifying we had a final race, extended 15-lapper. So I qualified in 7th position. Everybody in front of me is roughly about a half second faster than I am, and everybody from about where I'm at back is there's a lot of people close to me in the speed. The guy right next to me was only the 89 was only a couple thousand slower than me, so we're pretty tight in the mid-pack group, but I'm more towards the front of it. So we're coming around for the start. Starts are always fun in these big 19-car races or kart races. Lots of opportunity for trouble going around turn 1 right here, but we all, at least in the front portion, keep it clean. The 89 who started in 8th, he's going to get a little run on me. I'm going to have to tuck in behind him heading into turn 3, and we will all fall in line nice and cleanly. For this race weekend, it was actually a doubleheader. There was a race on Saturday, an evening race or a nighttime race, and this is a day race on Sunday. I was unfortunately not able to attend the Saturday night race, which put me a little bit behind the curve when I showed up on Sunday, because the majority of everybody racing this race raced the night before, and their karts are somewhat ready and they've had a little practice time out on the track. I'm coming in cold, and with the abbreviated schedule, I didn't get much seat time or adjustment time in my kart, but that's just the way it goes. But when I came in for When I did my qualifying, I had a decent amount of changes and things that I needed to get done in my kart to be able to race competitively, and when the practice rolled around, I did not have my weights on. I was about 30 pounds light, so when I went out for practice, you're supposed to do a practice, so I did my one lap, so I officially participated in practice. Then I pulled off and went and put my weights on. So I was pleasantly surprised that I was able to qualify 7th with really no practice, and I'm a little more towards the front than I am towards the back, so that's good. Currently, right now, I am in 6th place in the points for the LO206 Masters Heavy Division, which is the group that's on the track in this video. The 89 right in front of me is right behind me in points for the season standings. He is in 7th, and not too far back either. And he's been running strong. We've been around each other a lot in the midpoint of the season. But right now, I'm trying to track him down. He's pretty quick. I'm starting to make up little bites here and there on some of the corners, but I've yet to really clean up turn 1. I made some changes, and I mentioned this in an earlier video. I did make some changes to my front end. I changed the position of where my tie rods tie into whatever the heck you call those things way out there on the end where your wheels are. I forget what they're called. But anyways, if you race go-karts, you know what I'm talking about. But it did affect the handling, at least for me. To me, it seemed to make the kart a lot twishier than it used to be, and just a lot less input than what I'm used to giving on the steering wheel. So the very first time I went out, I was I was oversteering everything. But I've reduced my my movements with the steering wheel, and it's starting to work out pretty decent. But I was able to close the gap back up on the 89 right there. Gave him a nice little push down there. The way it came out of that last corner, I was on him too quick to try to zoom around him, so I just decided to push him. But again, the LO206 class is a whole lot about momentum, and just slight changes in your momentum or just lifting a little bit here or there, it's hard to make it back up. Because, the karts are fast, but there's definitely go-karts out there with a lot more power and sometimes I think those just give you a little more opportunity to try to make up slight errors when it comes to momentum. So as you can see, like if I get a gap, it takes me almost a full lap just to try to make back up that little bit of gap, because there isn't a ton of braking in these lower power carts. So I'm trying to catch them in these corners, and I'm having some success. I am geared pretty low in this race. I probably should have geared a little more towards the top end speeds, especially since the final lineup was based off qualifying orders, so everybody in front of me is faster than me. So I needed to probably gear more to hang with their speed instead of gearing more to affect the pass out of a corner. But right back there, as you can see, the gap kind of opened up for me. I was not ready for the gap to open up, but when it did, I had to make that split-second decision to dive down in there. And the 89 gave me plenty of room. He fell in behind me, I think, and it ended up working out for me. But like I said, it's one of those things you just have to be ready. I thought he was going to take a little tighter line down through there, and when I came in, everything was just working out where I was going to brake and steer in. I was able to duck straight down into that and hook up good and go around that corner. So now I believe I'm in 6th place right now. When you come around these corners over here, if you look off to the right, one of the guys that started either on the pole or the front row, or he was pretty far up front. He had a mechanical issue right there on the right. So he's off track. So that's one person down that was in front of me. And I'd already gotten back past the 89 who passed me at the beginning to put me one position down. So in effect, I'm right where I started, minus one person in front of me, put me at 6th. One thing to mention, I did, because I had minimal time and there really wasn't much time to practice, I just decided not to make any changes to my go-kart after qualifying. The goal was to, 7th position is not too bad. It's usually about where I'm at usually, most of the time anyways. So my plan was to maintain that position. If something happened, as we already saw, like somebody in front of me had a mechanical issue, or maybe they got tangled up with somebody and they went off track. Those things there's always the possibility for that. I'm not necessarily hoping for that, but if I drive around clean in 7th place and something happens in front of me, my 7th place, can turn into a 5th, 4th, or 3rd even. And that is what ended up transpiring in this race. There will be a situation up in front of me that I don't know is going on, but the leader is catching up to some lap traffic, a newer driver, and and it came up in a really bad part of the track where everything is funneled down tight, and there was some contact between the leader and a driver getting lapped, and it took the leader out. So that even knocked the one more person out in front of me, so that put me into 5th position. I don't believe it's happened yet, and the corner where it all happens is this tricky corner right here. You come around here, and that's tight right through there. It may not look that tight there, but when you're actually trying to fit two carts through that section and one is going way faster than the other, it can lead to some mayhem. As far as our Racing for Vets team, we've got in the OVKA 2021 season, we are about 11 races in, and I think there are officially 5 more on the schedule and 1 more rain makeup day. So six races, a good chunk of the season is still left out there, it seems, if my memory serves me correct. And we've got 2 away races. One is at Whiteland, which is right outside Indianapolis, a little south of Indianapolis. And one is at the Motorsports Country Club out near Batavia, Ohio. I've driven both tracks. They're both pretty fun. looking forward to the trips out there. I kind of like it sometimes because, you know, if you're newer to karting, which I consider myself fairly new to karting, you don't have a zillion laps on these tracks. And if your whole club travels to an away track, it kind of sometimes levels the playing field a little bit, at least in the, you know, seat time on the track category. Still, the fast guys at your local track are going to probably be pretty fast at the away track, but they may not be that much faster than you. There's the cart that got tangled up with the leader sitting over there. The leader was able to continue on, but at a much slower pace than he was when he was in the lead. And the cart that made contact with him, he was out of the race. So that is one reason why I like going to new tracks. The laps are winding down, as I mentioned. I am going to get 5th in this. I don't pass anybody else in really any type of race. I am going to drive by the number 16 who used to be leading. He's just up there tooling around in front of me now. He's going to finish the race, but it's not going to be at race pace. I'm going to catch up to him down here in the corner. He's going to let me get underneath him. I was a little bit worried for just a second. I have no idea if anybody's right behind me or not. So I'm hammering it around here. I don't want to screw up, but I can't really be less aggressive, because as soon as you start coasting out here in these go-karts and you think no one's behind you, but they're closing down on you because they can see you. I can't see anybody to gauge off of right now. I'm just looking at open track, just trying to drive, you know, fast qualifying style times. If there was somebody in front of me, I'm sure that I would be going faster. I think that was the checkered. We'll find out in a second. Nope, that was not the checkered. So I think I'm on the last lap. But stay tuned. There will be some more videos from some of these upcoming races, especially these away tracks are always fun to put a video up on. I also owe an old track, a video from an older race with from one of our night races that I had. It was a rough race for me, but I ended up being back in the back, so there's a decent amount of action of me going past people. So, you know, it's a lot of times when you're in front, everybody wants to be in front, but it doesn't always make for the most exciting video because you're just driving around the track with nobody in front of you. So anyways, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.